Okay, so let me start the class. Okay, good afternoon to all of you. I will start with your PSM theory. That day we have talked about some hazards. Do you remember? Environmental hazards. It was of 4 types: chemical, physical, biological, and psychosocial. Do you remember? Others, please turn on your videos. Turn on your videos, all of you. So, environmental and industrial hazards. Environmental hazards are over. So today we'll discuss about the industrial hazards. Okay. Industrial hazards. Please write down number B. Industrial hazards. Number B. Industrial hazards. Industrial hazards. Write down. Industrial hazards may be defined as any condition produced by industries. Industrial hazards may be defined as any condition produced by industries, INDUSTRIES, produced by industries that may cause injury or death, death, that may cause injury or death to personnel, 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 to personnel, personnel, or loss of product or property, or loss, loss of product or property, or loss of product, 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 or property, PROPERTY, property. So write down types of industrial hazards are number 1, chemical hazard. Chemical hazard. Number 2, physical hazard. And number 3, biological hazard. Physical, chemical, biological. These 3. Okay. Chemical hazard. Number 2, physical hazard. And the last one is biological hazard. BIOLOGICAL, biological hazard. So write number 1, chemical hazard. Chemical hazard. Put a dash and write down. Chemical hazards are caused by CAUSED. Chemical hazards are caused by toxic germicides, TOXIC. Toxic means harmful. Okay, toxic germicides, 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 germicides. Example, write down. Formaldehyde. Example is formaldehyde. FORMALDEHYD, formaldehyde. FORMAL, formaldehyde. DEHYDE, formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is an organic compound, okay? Formaldehyde. And formaldehyde, close the bracket. Example, formaldehyde, close the bracket. After that you write, and sterilizing gases. Sterilizing gases, STERILIZING, sterilizing gases, GASES, sterilizing gases Example, you write ethylene oxide. Example, ethylene. ETHYLENE, ethylene, OXIDE, ethylene oxide. Ethylene oxide. Ethylene oxide is what? It is a gas, okay, that is used for sterilization. Okay, it is a gas, gas. It is a flammable gas. Ethylene oxide is a flammable gas. So full stop. After that you write down whenever possible, comma, whenever possible, comma, whenever possible, comma, less hazardous agents, less hazardous, HAZARDOUS, less hazardous agents should be selected. Less hazardous agents, AGENTS agents, should be selected. Selected, SELECTED, selected. Selected, full stop. Example, alcohol. Example, alcohol. Alcohol, comma, ammonium compounds, etc. Ammonium compounds, AMMONIUM. Alcohol, comma, ammonium, AMMONIUM, ammonium compounds. All these are less hazardous, okay? Ethylene is a flammable gas, formaldehyde is also a germicide, so it's an organic compound, so all these things should not be used quite often. Okay, alcohols, then ammonium compounds, these things are less hazardous. Next, full stop, change the paragraph and write down. Workers should be trained on
Ma'am, I can hear your voice clearly.
Change the paragraph and write down workers on TE.
Ma'am.
Okay, now workers should be trained on. Okay, workers should be trained on. Workers should be trained on. Workers should be trained on standard operating instructions. Workers should be trained on standard 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 operating instructions and standard operating safe work practices and appropriate emergency response. and
Ma'am, on
appropriate
standard.
emergency response. Hmm?
Ma'am, on
Ma'am,
standard.
Let me repeat. Workers should be trained on standard operating instructions, safe work practice, and appropriate emergency response.
Ma'am, on
And
standard
appropriate
operating.
emergency response.
Ma'am, I can hear your voice properly.
And appropriate emergency response. Then you write a chemical hazard, a chemical hazard, a chemical hazard. Whosoever audio is on, please unmute yourself.
ma'am,
Yes, can you do, am I audible?
ma'am, from instruction, will you repeat once again?
Okay. Workers should be trained on standard operating instructions, safe work practices, and appropriate emergency response. And appropriate emergency response. And appropriate emergency response. Full stop. A chemical hazard is a type of a chemical hazard is a type of a chemical hazard is a type of occupational hazard, is a type of occupational hazard. OCCUPATION, occupational hazard. See, the other name of chemical hazard is occupational hazard, okay? A chemical hazard is a type of occupational hazard caused by exposure to chemicals, caused by exposure to chemicals, caused by exposure, EXPOSURE, exposure to chemicals in the workplace, exposure to chemicals in the workplace. Okay, especially for all those people who works in industries, who works in textiles, okay, who work in companies. It's mainly for all those people. Full stop. Depending on the chemical, depending, DEPENDING, depending on the chemical, the hazards involved may be varied. The hazards involved may be varied, VARIED, varied. Depending on the chemicals, the hazards involved may be varied, thus it is important to know and apply. Thus it is important to know and apply. Thus it is important to know and apply the PPE, P capital, E capital, okay, capital PPE. In bracket you write down personal protective equipment. Bracket personal, PERSONAL, personal protective, PROTECTIVE, personal protective equipment. EQUIPMENT, equipment, close the bracket. Especially during the lab. Especially during the lab. Lab means laboratory. Especially during the lab. Put a full stop and change the paragraph and write down PPE. Change the paragraph and write PPE, personal protective equipment. Note, you write down note and then you write PPE, personal protective equipment. I will tell you, okay, the items that are there in PPE. Write down PPE, personal protective equipment. Number 1, gowns, GOWNS, gowns. GOWNS, gowns. Gowns means all those gowns, okay, that we usually wear. Gowns means those that are used by the technicians, those that are used in the hospital, okay, those long gowns before operation that the doctors and nurses or any medical staffs used to wear. So those are known as gowns, okay. Number 2, you write gloves. Number 2, you write gloves, GLOVES, gloves. GLOVES, gloves. Number 3, you write down goggles, GOGGLES, goggles. Goggles means not those sunglasses. Okay, goggles means they are, it's made of plastic. Okay, mainly used in the hospitals. Okay, not all those fashionable goggles. It's something else. Goggles. Number 4, head covers, HEAD, head covers, COVERS, covers. Head covers also, it is made of it is used for protecting the head. Okay, head means why does it protect? So that while operating or doing any kind of laboratory work, your hair should not fall down. Okay, is to keep your hair inside the head properly in a bun. So they use head covers. Okay, you even see these days outside, you can see all those chaat walas, pani puri walas and all. You can see them wearing gloves. They used to wear even head covers. I guess you all have noticed. They even put head covers so that they might not have any kind of hair fall or anything, dandruff or anything. Okay, for cleanliness. Okay, then number 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5, you write down mask, MASKS, mask, MASKS, mask. Next, you write down face shield, FSC, face shield, SHIELDS. Face shield, I think you know what is a face shield. Even at this corona time, many of the people, they wear this face shield. Okay, it's made of plastic. It
Then
covers
shield
their
S.
whole face. Face, yeah, shield, SHIELD, shield. Next, you write down shoe covers. SHOE, shoe covers, COVERS, covers. What are shoe covers? Shoe covers are used for protecting your shoes. Okay, before doing any operation, whenever the doctor goes to the OT for performing any kind of operation, they wear a shoe cover. Okay, whatever chappals that they used to wear, inside that, outside of that, they wear a shoe cover. Okay, so that it can prevent from any kind of blood, semen, whatever it can be. It protects the shoe from all this kind of infection. All these are found in hospitals. Once you get posted in the hospital, okay, at that time you will be able to see all of these things. So number 2, you write now physical hazards. This was all about your chemical hazard. Number 2, you write physical hazards. Number 2, you write down physical hazard. Put a dash and write. A physical hazard is an agent factor. A physical hazard is an agent factor. Physical hazard is an agent factor that can cause harm with or without contact. That can cause harm with or without contact. CONTACT. That can cause harm with or without contact. Full stop. Physical hazards include radiation, RADIATION. Physical hazards include radiation, heat and cold stress, HEAT, heat, and cold, 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 stress, STISS, heat and cold stress, noise hazards, noise, NOISE, noise hazards, UV light, X-rays, etc. UV light, X-rays, etc. UV light, X-rays, etc. Full stop. Physical hazards are a common source of injuries in many industries. Physical
Ma'am, you,
hazards are a common source of injuries in many industries.
ma'am, you will like?
Physical hazards are a common source of injuries in many industries.
Ma'am, repeat again.
Ma'am, physical hazards are a source of ma'am.
Am I audible or not? Actually, my network bandwidth is very bad
Yes,
today.
ma'am.
Okay, just we'll try to finish it up as soon as possible. So for physical hazards, so what was the last line that you have written?
Ma'am, repeat from the beginning. Physical hazard.
Okay, a physical hazard is an agent factor, okay, that can cause harm with or without contact, full stop. Physical hazards include radiation, comma, heat and cold stress, comma, noise hazards, UV rays, X-rays, etc. Full stop. After that,
No,
physical
an
hazards
agent
are a
factor.
common source of injuries in many industries. Full stop. They are perhaps, write down, they are
Ma'am,
perhaps, say,
it's an agent factor.
agent factor.
Yes, ma'am.
You take it from your friends, okay? Because network is not so good. I can't repeat it again and again. You ask your friends. You
Okay, ma'am.
continue from where you left, okay? Because network is very bad. My network is very poor. Full stop there, then you write. They are perhaps unavoidable in certain industries. They are perhaps unavoidable in certain industries, comma, such as construction and mining. Such as construction, CONSTRUCTION, such as construction and mining, MINING. Full stop. Number 3, write down biological hazards. Number 3 is biological hazards. Write down. Biological hazards are also known as biohazards. Biological hazards are also known as biohazards. Biological hazards are also known as biohazards, comma, refers to biological substances, refers, R-E-F-E-R-S, refers to biological substances, refers to biological substances that pose a threat, that pose, P-O-S-E, pose, a threat, T-H-R-E-A-T, that pose a threat to the health of living organisms, to the health of living organisms, full stop. The biohazard symbol, SYMBOL, the biohazard symbol was developed in 1966. Biohazard symbol was developed in 1966 by Charles Baldwin. Underline it, okay? 1966 by Charles Baldwin. Charles, C-H-A-R-L-E-S. Charles Baldwin, B-A-L-D-W-I-N. The biohazard symbol was developed in 1966 by Charles Baldwin. Underline the whole thing, 1966 by Charles Baldwin. It is important for fill in the blanks, comma, an environmental health engineer. An environmental health engineer. So Charles Baldwin, who was he? He was an environmental health engineer, okay? Engineer working for the Dow Chemical Company. Working for the Dow, D capital, D-O-W, Dow. D-O-W, Dow Chemical Company. It is the name of a company, okay? The name of the company is Dow Chemical Company. Underline it, D-O-W, Dow Chemical Company. Full stop. Then you write, sources of biological hazards may include, sources of biological hazards may include, sources of biological hazards may include bacteria, comma, viruses, comma, bacteria, comma, viruses, comma, insects, comma, plants, 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 comma, birds, comma, animals, and humans. Viruses, insects, plants, animals, and humans, H-U-M-A-N-S, humans, full stop. These sources can cause a variety of health effects. These sources can cause a variety of health effects, ranging from skin irritation,
Plants, then what?
Birds, animals, and humans. Episode full stop. These sources can cause a variety of health effects, ranging from skin irritation and allergies to infection. Ranging from skin irritation, allergy, and infection. Example, tuberculosis, AIDS, cancer, and so on. Example, tuberculosis, AIDS, cancer, and so on. Okay. So I will end the meeting now. Okay, it's already, your time is getting over. So thank you. I'll take your class later again.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.